What's happening, guys? It's Logan Robinson from BucsGameday.com. I'm here with the River Wells, our lead editor at BucsGameday, and we are here for day 4 overall of OTAs. They just wrapped up day 2 for the media. We got to sit out here, view the entire practice. Wasn't so hot today. Had some pretty good weather.
No, it was a good day. There was a strong breeze. We got some shade. We're going to treasure that while it lasts, folks, because it will not last very long.
No, it will not. No, it won't. But we've got some updates here from Todd Bowles, including Hassan Reic. We'll talk about that. We're also going to jump you through. They did do some 11 on 11, some team, had some standouts from that also, too. Who's here, who's not here. We're going to go through that. We've got a list for you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll start off with who was here, and we'll start off Luke Geti was here.
He was injured, or at least banged up, I guess you could say, on day 1 of OTAs. Was working off to the side with a trainer, but he was back into the fold practicing today, and that's good to see as mandatory minicamp approaches.
Yeah, it was. And I asked Todd Bowles how he looked and everything. Said he's still getting into a groove and getting in shape and all that kind of stuff. But the mustache looked good, I would say.
It always does.
The hair's long. Yeah, the hair's looking long. Then going over to a few others. Vita Vea and Levante David were here, but they are doing a big event here for the Bucs, which I think they were participating in.
Yes, Cut for Cure, which helps pediatric cancer. But Levante David, Vita Vea did show up. Tristan Wirfs did show up, not participating today. Christian Izien was still a little banged up, didn't participate, and it looked like David Walker, who the Bucs drafted this year, outside linebacker out of Central Arkansas, was also a little bit banged up and was not participating in drills. He was standing with his position group. But was not undergoing any drills. So little things here and there. We talked to Todd Bowles on day 1 of OTAs. And he mentioned he thinks everyone should be healthy for training camp. So I don't think there should be too much concern for any injuries at this point. But some guys are still getting over some stuff. Maybe added some new stuff in training that they're still trying to work out.
Yeah, I had it listed on here. Tristan Wirfs wasn't here, but we did get to see him during the event that was going on.
Yes, we did.
He's still big.
He's still big. He's still pretty big.
He's still a big boy. He's got the size.
It looks like he's ready for another all-pro campaign.
Yes, he looks incredible, I must say. He looks good. We also got to see Baker. Of course, he's out here. No shocker. But just for my first time actually seeing him for OTAs, because I was off on a trip, wasn't here for the first OTA practice for the media. I thought he looks a lot more leaner. I know some people on social media were seeing that as well. But, those are photos and videos. But to see it in person up close with his jersey off to earlier and looks a little bit more built. And I think that's something that has been a big conversation this offseason from Bowles and company of they want a healthy Baker.
Yep.
And putting some size on a little bit and getting in shape a little bit more is something that can keep a guy like him more healthy, because he is a guy that is going to make plays with his feet and is going to drop a shoulder here and there throughout the season.
Absolutely. You want Baker to be in shape, and I think he always typically is. So, but they say we don't want him to get hit. We don't want him to take a lot of hits. So trying to protect him that way is definitely going to be a net positive, and looking good.
Yeah, thought so too. And then going over, Mike Evans not here, but we did see on a social media post for the Bucs.
Yeah, he may have been there one of those days. They did have a photo of him practicing.
Unless it was AI. I mean, I don't know.
You never know nowadays. But as far as we know, it looked like he was there at least either on day 2 or 3. Was not here today. Chris Godwin was also not here. But Chris Godwin, of course, recovering from a brutal injury that he suffered against the Baltimore Ravens last year. And Mike Evans is a vet who's played a lot of time, so I don't think he necessarily needs to be here.
No, we've been seeing on social media too. Mike Evans been posting on his Instagram story. He's been very, very active in his training in his backyard, I believe. So there's no shocker there that he's not here, but he was expected probably at one of those OTAs that media weren't available to go to. And then to finish off here, Todd Bowles talked about Hassan Reic. Did not see Hassan Reic. I feel like that's been kind of the big conversation, because the Bucs don't really have a whole lot of – they don't ever really hold any kind of drama. So if there's any kind of ounce of something of a storyline that you could jump into, it would be about Hassan Reic not being here just because of his past. But Todd Bowles did tell us that he does expect him to be there for mandatory minicamp. He kept it pretty short and sweet, Todd Bowles style.
Yeah.
It's mandatory.
Yeah.
So
it is.
I think we both, you and I and the rest of our staff, expect for Hassan Reic to be there anyways for minicamp.
For sure.
We did put out a post there at BucsGameday.com of Reic. He's out there training right now with his trainer, and Todd Bowles said he hasn't spoken with him individually, but his position coach has been speaking with Reic and been communicating there. So I think it's a little overblown a little bit, but it's good to have an update here. And Yeah, let's keep moving on, though. We got 7-on-7, 11-on-11 team stuff. Nothing too crazy today, but I think the highlighted play was probably coming from a linebacker, River.
Yeah, veteran Dion Jones, who's been with the Bucs for this is his second year now. He had a really nice pick of a quarterback, Kyle Trask. He was facing Trask. The ball tipped in the air, and he had to kind of pivot his body in 360 to go catch it around the other side. The sideline erupted, of course, being how it is in OTAs. It's shorts and shirts, as Todd Bowles will never fail to tell you every time you ask him a question about it. But still a pretty impressive play from a guy that's been a veteran in this league for a long time, and he's had some hands. Bucs fans remember a particular interception he had in 2019 to close out the year, but now he's here in Tampa Bay and still making some plays out there on the field. So that's good to see, and it's good to have that veteran presence in the linebacker room. Kind of showing those young guys how to do it. Guys like Servassier Dennis, who's going to be in for a much bigger role next year.
Yeah, and we did speak with Dennis after the practice today, and he just was telling us, the biggest thing, he felt like he got fully healthy at the end of the season at that playoff game. Yep. He started off strong, too, against the Commanders, getting that sack against Jaden Daniels. So the biggest thing, I think, for me, I think Rivers on the same boat here, is just staying healthy, man. They feel so strongly about this young man, and the keys could be handed over from Lavonte David over to Dennis moving forward. Just got to stay healthy and be out there on the field. I thought one of the biggest plays today was coming from your UF grad, UF alumni, your guy Kyle Trask with a beautiful ball deep to rookie Tez
Johnson.
Tez Johnson. I thought that was a gorgeous ball with a defender coming to Trask's face off the outside.
Yeah, and I believe it was Tyke Smith in coverage there on Tez Johnson, who is your incumbent safety. He's going to move back to be with Antoine Winfield Jr. after playing nickel corner last year. Might see someone like Christian Izien or Jacob Parrish, probably Jacob Parrish, take that spot. So that was a really good play from him, and Tez Johnson had that acceleration. He had a decently poor 40 time at the combine.
Yeah.
But his agility and his game speed has never really been in question. He really showed that today.
Mm-hmm. We saw Bucca making a play, the Buccaneers' first round pick. He was out there, he was making grabs, and then it was him and who was it with where he took that fall? He was down on the field.
Benjamin Morrison, who climbed the ladder up to get that ball out. They were multiple feet in the air. It was a really nice play. Looks like Emeka got a little bit shaken up on that play, but we talked to him afterward. He said he was fine.
Yeah, I talked with him, actually, Emeka, after, and he said he's fine, he's good, and Todd Bowles also to confirm that as well. So some good news there. A little scary, though. Always is. You kind of just, sit there. Everybody goes quiet. The whole, the beat is like, oh, my goodness. That is your first-round guy, and they think very highly of him. And then I was going over to goal line here. Like I said, nothing too crazy today, but going over to goal line, I thought Baker had a good sequence there in his two plays. He connected with Otten for a touchdown, which looked pretty damn easy, I must say. And then Baker did have a throw over to Trey Palmer for a touchdown as well.
A touchdown as well, yeah. Trey Palmer is going to be fighting for a roster spot. At this point, it's quite unlikely that he'll make it. But it's good to see him making plays out there. And, the more he makes plays, the more buzz around him. Maybe the Bucs could get a very low pick for him in a trade. It's a really stacked receiver room, guys. Tez Johnson, Trey Palmer, Cam Johnson, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Emeka Egbuka.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of players to talk about there, and there's going to be some odd men left out. And, Palmer's going to have to really try and prove his worth to make sure that he's not one of those guys.
Yep. Since we're here on YouTube and Shiloh Sanders has the audience of a full army, the Shiloh army. Any comments from Shiloh today? I don't think there was anything crazy that
No, he didn't have any crazy plays.
We're trying to hit the algorithm.
Yeah, of course. We were about to actually talk to Antoine Winfield Jr. and Shiloh popped out and said, make sure you tell him that I'm your favorite rookie. And then so I asked Antoine, who's your favorite rookie? And he said Shiloh Sanders. So that's your Shiloh Sanders update here at BucsGameday. Stick along for more.
That's why we're here, giving you all the crucial stuff. But that is it from at least day 2 of media availability for OTAs. We'll be here next week. And then we have mandatory minicamp.
Yeah. Might be in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And then, as per usual, we get you prepped fully for training camp, which we're going to do these kind of instant reactions, hopefully every single day. So make sure you are subscribed. Hit that like button, too, if you'd like to see more of these videos. Seeing more likes on here just helps us get it out to more Bucs fans, but also, too, is like, all right, people are listening. People are actually watching us talk about this stuff. They enjoy it, so we'll make more of these videos. But with me, River, my man River over here. We will see you next week on BucsGameDay's YouTube. Thanks for watching.
All right, Cannons.